We're here at the CES in Las Vegas, where technology is changing advertising. We're doing a series of video interviews with VideoAmp, where we're talking to technologists and thought leaders about measurement, about attribution, and about data, and how they're revolutionizing advertising.
I think it's being able to sell clients the true customer segment that they want to reach. Well, I think the most important reason why is that so much of the wealth in this country is beyond 50, beyond 55, and so much of the viewership is in beyond 50, beyond 55, beyond 35. And I think as an ad model, television really needs to start to monetize the longer tail of the audience. If you have a device that can actually measure somebody's viewership to a commercial through ACR, and then you can track that customer and see, based upon what commercials they've seen, what products they've purchased, what websites they've searched, what stores they've gone into, what showrooms they've gone into, you have the ability to tie attribution. I think it's somewhat possible now, but it's early days of actually connecting. One of the hardest parts of it is if you're a big advertiser and you're running on 40 or 50 channels, you might have 10 spots running within a half hour, and then you might look at web search in the next half hour, and how do you know which of the 10 spots? Context has a lot to do with this. Not every ad is going to perform the same based upon its Nielsen rating. The environment has a lot to do with the effectiveness of an ad. So if the creative matches up really well with what's around it, which flows in and out of it, then I think you got a much better chance of getting the viewer in the mindset to absorb the commercial and to respond to it. I think there's a lot of viewership that's going on a delay. There's a lot of viewership that's going on time-shifted devices that isn't really being measured. But I think even more important than that is the ability to change the currency to something that is a true view of the entire audience that the advertiser wants to reach. So going back to what I said earlier, if an advertiser wants to, for example, if a retailer wants to reach a competitive retailer's frequent shoppers, as long as they say to us, we have a strategic target, there are 25 million people that are shopping at a competitor, we want to reach them as often as we can, up to a certain frequency cap, sell us that audience. And a concentration of that audience across all of your channels. In my case with Discovery, we have 17 channels on a lot of digital properties and a lot of apps. So what we say is, if you really want to reach your strategic target, walk away from a number and a dash and a number, unless that number is 2 and 90 on the other side. Because if you start talking about strategic targets, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, give me a strategic target, and then also give me my 18 to 49 age restriction, because then it's just going to make it even more difficult for this business. I think the ad model in television will benefit from all of the data that's coming in, because what the data will become is a replacement for an age restriction, which is really what's holding down the growth of television right now, is the age restriction. We have some advertisers that are buying television and digital together. We have some advertisers that are buying television and digital separately. But the fastest growing segments, 2 segments of our business, are the Engage platform, which, because of the scale we have, on a typical night across the 17 channels, Discovery is reaching about 20 or 25% of all women watching pay cable television.